Oh, yeah.
Bless and love, my lords. Welcome to another PunksTalk. I'm joined today here by our co-host Dudley and our team guest ForeverPunks. How's it going, gentlemen? Welcome.
Hello, welcome on the show. It's going well, I guess. We have a great guest, so yeah, I'm super stoked for this conversation.
Hey, ForeverPunks, how's it going?
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me. How's it going on your end?
Everything is great. What time it is where you are?
It's 5 o'clock. Five
Oh
o'clock, and
wow,
super warm.
oh wow. Thanks for waking up so early, man.
No, 5 in the afternoon, so not bad.
Oh, okay. All
Okay,
right,
so
all
we're on the
right,
same
okay.
page.
Late
Yeah,
late
yeah,
it's
morning.
but it's
Yeah.
GM as always.
yeah. It's always
It's
GM.
always GM.
All right. Thanks so much for joining, man, and it's an absolute pleasure to connect with you. Um, why don't we go ahead and start with you sharing with us your punk story?
Sure. So I got into punks early 2021. I first heard about it around the Beeple sale when there was that big 5,000 days Beeple sale. Also, that same week, there was the Perugia alien sale. And that story fascinated me when I listened to Dylan Field give his little speech on how he's letting go of his punk and giving it over to this mysterious Perugia. And yeah, from then on, I got hooked into punks. On Twitter, I noticed all the smartest and brightest people in the space, rock the punk, and I decided, I need one. And not long after it, I just couldn't bear not having one, and I got one. So that's how I started.
Is it the same punk that you have today?
Yes, I held on to that punk indeed, and I don't know if I'm gonna sell it anytime soon.
What was your entry price?
So the floor was around 20 ETH when I got in. I got so currently my wallet is not doxed, but I got like a very nice mid-tier punk. Super proud of it, and yeah, it was a big dedication, back at the time, but it just felt right, And then a couple of months after, there was the visa announcement, and the whole thing like shut up, and you know, with hindsight, it was a good decision for sure.
It was the perfect storm for NFTs back
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
every day there was like some different hype going on, insane announcement, Visa punks here, there. Yeah, a lot of noise around punks at the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot has changed in the past year and a half. But I mean, especially, you say in NFTs, a year is more like 10 years in real life. But like
Absolutely.
for us, you have to like adapt as the space goes on.
What do punks mean for you, and what captivated you to become a forever punk?
It's a good question. I mean, I spend a lot of time on Twitter. I spend a lot of time listening to podcasts. It's kind of part of the, I would say, do your own research part of what I do. And what I noticed is that all the people that made sense and that had influence on me were rocking this punk profile picture, and and yeah, it was this kind of group of people that felt OG, and that knew what they were talking about. I mean, for example, yesterday I listened to your show with Bon Han, and I mean, that guy's amazing. I mean, the way he talks, the knowledge he's sharing, and then it's just, you just want to be part of this group.
Yeah, I love that interview. He was so articulate and all his points were amazing. The whole interview was full of quotes. I definitely recommend everyone to go listen to it. It was an absolute pleasure interviewing him. And you're right. I have noticed, and from my personal observation, if we boil it down very simplistically, you see all the captains of industry rocking a punk. Would you say so?
For sure, for sure. And also, it kind of, as a punk holder, it kind of gives you a responsibility to, pull the industry forward. So the project I'm currently working on partially was motivated by, all right, so I own a punk, and what can I bring myself to the industry that pulls it forwards, and also what can I kind of bring to the punk community that kind of makes it a better community, and that makes other punk owners proud to be a punk. When I was listening to your interview yesterday, I was very proud to be part of this community.
Okay, so please go ahead and explain what is your project? What have you created?
Yeah, well, so I'm in NFT since early 2021. And for the first year and a half, I was, not building something, I guess, publicly as such. I was more like flipping NFTs. And then now that the bear market hit, let's say about 6 months ago, I was like, okay, what can we do that, really for the long term, adds value to the industry, maybe drives mainstream adoption. And probably like you guys yourself, I visit the punk website, 2-3 times a day. Maybe when I wake up, maybe during the day, and definitely before going to bed, especially when there's like a bull run on punks. And what I noticed is that, the punk website that we know is lacking some features. And, well, the most obvious feature for me was the filtering by skin tone. And, I myself am a software developer, and I looked at it and it was like, this would take me like just a couple of days to put together a small version. And so I did, and I shared it, on Twitter, and people liked it. And then I decided, why not, build up on it. And I started adding, more advanced features and filters. So I started with like adding advanced filters. Then I added price estimation for punks. Then I added, Twitter profiles for punks, and one thing led to the next. I realized that it was a nice little tool that complements the current punk website. And I was explaining this actually the other day to my grandma, and it was quite funny. She didn't get it, of course. And a metaphor I used for NFTs is real estate, the housing market. So, for example, if you decide you want to buy a house, that purchasing process, takes 3 months, takes 6 months, maybe a bit more sometimes. And really, the way it works is, you start browsing, the housing market website. In America, it's Zillow. In Spain here, it's Idealista, and in every country they have their own. But you really start browsing it, then you narrow it down to a filter that corresponds to your needs. Then you set up alerts. Then you visit some houses, and then you then you make an offer, and then you buy the house. And if you think about it, with high value blue chip NFTs, it's not very different. This process. So I decided that why not just turn ForeverPunks into the Zillow of premium NFTs, and currently that's what we are building towards.
Oh, that's really really interesting, and it definitely bridges a gap in the market. Uh, how long have you been working on it?
I started in the summer, so it's getting up to maybe 5 months, 5-6 months. Currently, we are rebuilding completely the tech stack, so a full new front end, a full new back end to make it scalable. I also have a guy who joined me who's a great dev. And so currently we're in the scaling up the tech side of things. But yeah, early next year we'll have some big announcements to make, and it's going to be fun.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. And you have here on your website display best deals feature. I think it's really cool, and you can definitely browse a lot of a lot of multiple trades together, right? And mix match, find the one that you want.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That display best deals feature was something that I myself personally was missing in the market. Like, let's say you specifically are looking for I don't know, a hoodie punk. You could filter down to hoodies and then filter down to best deal within hoodies. And the next thing we're working on adding is notifications. So once you have your shopping list, you'll be able to set soon notifications and get notified whenever a punk on your shopping list either lowers in price or gets listed. So
Mm,
that's something. And then the next thing will be, of course, expanding not just for punks, but adding all the other blue chip collections as well, like all the Yuga stuff, all the art block stuff, and that kind of things.
that's super cool. You said all of this coming in January, right?
Well, maybe not everything within January,
Mm,
but I'm really seeing now, like whilst we're developing with this whole kind of rebuilding of the tech stack, it's going to get, we're going to do quicker feature releases. And also, I don't know if you guys knew, like kind of 2-3 months ago, I had like a small NFT drop for kind of like original supporters. And that was really something for me to see whether I have the guys that are willing to kind of support this project from earlier on. And, it sold out within 2 hours. And that's when I decided that, I'm going to go like full time on this and I'm going to kind of build it properly.
that's so nice, man, and it's such a testament to what you're building here. The punks are a very difficult crowd, so having them supporting what you're building, it's definitely something that gives you strength to continue and push through. Because building something, it's a lonely place, you know,
Yeah,
it's not very easy. People don't understand how long and difficult
yeah, yeah.
process it is to build something.
But also with that in mind, kudos to
Mhm.
you guys. I mean, guys been building, your stuff for a long while as well. I've been following along, and you guys are punks and also builders. So
Thank
you
you so
you
much.
guys raised the bar as well. So definitely, I've seen your project, and that's also motivation for me myself to build as well.
Oh, thank you so much. It really means a lot. We definitely put our hearts and souls in to what we do, and we believe in it with everything we have. Um, Looking at your website, some of the punks here have they are sending people to their own projects. How does that work?
Pa-pum. Yeah, I mean, so what we currently have is we link punks back to Twitter profiles, and also a feature that I added that was like really keen on is adding backstories of punks. So as I mentioned earlier, one of
Okay, let me stop you there. You have to connect that to our book and show only these backstories.
yeah. So I had that in
Come
mind when I was
on.
listening to the episode yesterday, and like one thing I was also talking with what's his name, Maxwell,
Hmm.
that he's doing his podcast episode, and it's like such a great way of like discovering the punk behind the punk. And I'm sure we can definitely like do something like linking the backstories to your stuff as well, like so
If the punk has a backstory made with us, for example, it should display this one, because this one is the one saved on chain, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great thing. And the other thing is like, it doesn't have to be like one backstory. You know, there can be. What I noticed is that a lot of punks, they like to put out a Twitter thread on why they purchased their punk. Like
Mhm.
I'm sure one of the most famous one is the Perugia Twitter thread that he put out in, I think, February 2021, and that thread explains why he spent 7.5 million on his punk. And I read that thread many times, at least 20 times maybe. And that's one example, but there's so many good stories that are just spread all across the place. And you guys are gathering it. Maxwell is gathering it, and I would just love to also like just not. I'd love them not to get lost, because that definitely adds to the punk value.
Yeah, 100%, man. I really love how you made the whole website here, and it keeps the punk uh, how you say aesthetic.
Yeah.
And if we could definitely link those stories, that would be awesome. Linking those projects together, I think it would be really, really cool. And we were
So
talking
how
about
does
it.
it? Sorry, how does it work exactly on your side?
Mhm.
So I heard it's like stories on chain,
Yeah,
but
so
will every punk do it, or it's just optional, or what's it
So
gonna be like?
before, yeah, so each book has like 100 spots, right? And
Okay.
the owner of the punk has to come and submit their inputs. So
Mm-hmm.
we ask stuff like, how tall is your punk? Does he have a name? Four adjectives that are positives and two that are negative, like adventurous, free, and or lazy and stoner. Not sure if that's a negative, but anyway. So and then we say, okay, here you can write a small story, talking naturally about your punk, and people can like use experiences they had in their life that shaped them, or metaphors or parallels, and then we
Mm-hmm.
feed all of these into GPT-3, and we generate the bio. We don't write it, and we have developed a sort of like neutral curation. So we are
Mm-hmm.
curating to reach a very, very nice point by not adding anything. So the AI basically decides and generates the story. And yeah, then that is the punk story created by with inputs by the owner, but generated by the AI.
That's
And
great. Great idea. Yeah.
that plain text is the one that will be um, etched in the blockchain.
Hmm.
So when they mint, the action of minting does that. So when the punk mints it, they are printing their own personal story into the blockchain themselves with this transaction.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
this is really cool. But also every digital book has their own punk on the cover, and every physical book also has their own punk. So it's all connected with the art. So if you could link to this story, these stories will only be available to be viewed by punk owners. So if you could link to these stories, that would be super cool.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And do you already have an idea when this project will be launching?
Yeah, we already have it on. It's available on our website. We had a little bit of a dropout rate because when we announced, we I didn't know how much the price was going to be. I was still looking at the materials, and then
Mm-hmm,
we announced the price, and okay, I understand it's bear market. Some people dropped out, so
mm-hmm,
we
mm-hmm.
still have spots, and I hope to have them filled by January,
Okay.
late January. I hope it's all filled and we are ready to ship.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, happy to talk of it afterwards in DMs if you want.
Yeah, and also the name is super suitable, right?
For sure, yeah.
Okay, let's go back to punks. What are your favorite traits?
That's a great question. I mean, it's crazy because I'm like obsessed with like all these punk traits. I like know them in and out. But the other day I retweeted one, and I think like the pipe. The pipe is one of my favorite traits. Maybe because also like Perugia as Alien has a pipe,
Wow, that's
and
very peculiar. I've never heard the pipe
yeah,
being
but
someone's favorite trait.
my absolute favorite punk that is not mine, but I just love it, is 9400, and it's basically a wild blonde like female punk that is rocking a VR headset and a pipe. So I don't know if you guys pull it up on your side.
And purple lipstick.
And purple lipstick. And for me, this punk is so just amazing because the pipe is like a representation of the past, the history, and the VR headset stands for like the future. And this one punk combines the two, and I think it's just so unique. So I'm a bit jealous for whoever owns this punk. I knew the previous owner, but he then sold it. So I mean, this trade combo is just so good, I think.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it is a female punk, but you could argue that it's a non-binary one. I mean, when you look at it, it doesn't scream female to you, right? Maybe the
Yeah,
lipstick a little bit, but you know, that's about it.
yeah. It's just
It's a
it's such a
punk band. Mm.
perfect combination of traits that came together randomly, and it's just beautiful in my opinion.
It's a cool punk. Yeah, I don't hear a lot of people saying that pipe is their favorite trait, so I'm happy I heard that
Yeah, I
today.
mean, other than
It's
that, I
very
mean,
underrepresented.
other than that, I love the hoodie, of course. One day I'd love to own a hoodie punk as well. But yeah, like also top hat and cowboy hat. I like the hats. I love the hats.
Yeah, the hats are cool. What punks in the space you admire the most and inspired you the most? I think you mentioned Perugia
Yeah, I
as well.
mentioned Perugia. I mean, there's one guy on Twitter that not many people know. He owns a very nice hoodie and 3D glasses punk. He's called Kazuya. And so if you follow him on Twitter, you definitely won't be disappointed. So Kazuya, and yeah, I mean, so he's a guy who's great when it comes to DeFi and macro and stuff like that. And yeah, so he's one of them. But also like just I made so many friends along the way since I've been doing this project. For example, Phantom Scribbler is one of them. He's a great guy. I love Wojtek, the project he's working on. NFT statistics. He's a great guy. Tycoon, Dan Polko, Punks OTC. These are all like great, inspiration to me. And the list goes on for so long. And the great thing is like they're so approachable, and many of them I even met in person in like punk meetups and NFT meetups. Hello, are you there?
Hey, bro, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I cannot hear that also. It probably dropped.
Yeah.
Hello?
No, yeah,
Yes,
you're back.
yes.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah,
Okay,
we can
all
hear
right.
you, man. Okay.
Sorry, my iPhone was playing tricks a little bit again. Yeah, man, I was going to say these are all wonderful people, and I love all these guys you mentioned. I have been chatting with some of them online. I wish some of them would come for an interview.
Yeah,
They are avoiding it a little bit, but we will get them. We will get them one by one.
yeah. I mean, slowly by truly. I mean, like I myself launched this brand, let's say 6 months ago, and it's a process, and I love how you guys are like growing and building up on it, and I think it's great. And with time, it definitely will grow to something very big.
It's very difficult building a brand on Web3, especially when personal brands work so much better. Do you think that's the case, or that is going to change?
What do you mean by personal brands?
Like it's so much easier to become famous as a person and build your own
Yeah,
personal brand, rather than build a project brand.
yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Uh, yeah, definitely. Like if you think of punk personalities like Farouk or Olnik, they are like building their personal brand, and then the project is just I guess attached to it and grows with it. But I think the smartest is to like do both. uh
But that's also the case in Web 2. We are transitioning from, the era of bigger companies to more of personal brands. You see YouTubers just do one thing and there's just more of them instead of like bigger companies that do more things.
yeah. I mean, for example, one of the reasons why I didn't want to attach my punk to this project is because what if one day, I don't know, I move on from this project or I sell the project, if the punk itself is like entwined with the project, then it's much harder to do it. So that's why I have this 3D alien currently as the logo, and that's kind of the brand itself. And then well, I'm personally running it, but yeah, I definitely see what you mean.
Yeah, it's a puzzle to navigate today's social structure and um, decide what is the best way to to create something, whether to go this way or that way. It's all like it's all a bit unclear now. But I think that personal brands definitely have an edge, especially in the attention economy of today. Um, However, they are limited, and where their, let's say, reign ends is where the big boys start playing. And I hope that the projects in the future are more recognized for what they do and their actual value instead of like who's promoting them. And yeah, the whole, you know, um, public aspect of it. I hope it boils down to more like, down to the basics and we see more advancement in the space in general.
Yeah. And especially now that we have a bear market, it's much harder to grow a following, and to grow the brand. I
That's so
see.
true. Daily we are having calls and chatting and looking at numbers and trying different things. And at times it feels like nothing is working, and it's super difficult. There is no interest in NFTs in general, and we see a lot of posts about people complaining also about that. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, last year when there was this NFT bull market, I was not in the business of building a brand, growing a following. But I see some people who were in that, they had many thousands of followers, and became very very recognizable and very known there. And whereas now it's kind of more stagnant for like someone like maybe myself or maybe you who wants to kind of grow now. I think now is the best time to just put in the work, put in the foundation for the next run. Because I mean, I definitely think there will be a next up run soon, a next bull market. And
How
like,
soon?
that's a good question. And so actually yesterday my question for Bonfidehan was, does he think that mainstream adoption will properly happen? And that's something I ask myself a lot on what it will be like. And there's like signs of it here and there, but I think one of the biggest blockers for NFT mainstream adoption is like the average person, they don't have a crypto wallet, and they don't know how to maneuver a crypto wallet. And I think now we see signs like, for example, Instagram is integrating NFTs, and they're going to build that out. Or last week or even this week we had this Trump NFT that launched. Hate it or love it, I'm sure it onboarded a couple of people into NFTs, and also like trading on Polygon is even not obvious for a native NFT person, yet alone for a normie, as we call them, so yeah, in the future, when there is this mainstream adoption that has happened, I think most people will not be in charge of their keys. There won't be like self custody. I view it more like Instagram will be in charge of your keys. You will kind of own your NFTs within an Instagram wallet, and then hopefully with the optionality of withdrawing them to self-custody if you want. But I don't know, 99% of the people will just use already like established versions of NFT custody. So, and I think the infrastructure is not there for it yet.
Yeah, we are back in 70s when video games started. We are like on Pong times now, not even, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
the
But I don't
graphics are
know.
very low.
Maybe give it 2-3 years, hopefully. But I think now we're going through another like builder cycle. Like
Mhm.
I was around in the last bear market. I personally was not building within the space, so I still was in my Web2 things. But like the foundation of last year's bull run was built during the previous bear market. So think of Uniswap, Maker, OpenSea, all that was like the foundation was laid during the last bear market. So yeah, I'm optimal for that. That we are the ones like doing it now, and so that's also like one of my motivating factors to keep on with my project.
Yeah, all of these projects were building really, really strong in the bear market, and nobody was paying attention. Just very few dedicated fans that were around those projects. And are we seeing the same thing today with the NFT projects? I don't know. We will see at the end. I hope that is the case.
I'm pretty confident it will be the case. I mean, just listening to your interview yesterday, it's just a matter of time that people grab this aspect of digital ownership, and that it makes more and more sense.
Personally, I'm a relentless optimist. I really believe all these things will prevail, and decentralization will win one way or the other. But um, I don't know. It takes a long, long time.
Yeah, yeah. But I was just having this discussion with my parents the other day, that if I were to make an investment, to have a significant amount of money, and where would I like to invest it? I mean, traditionally you would buy a house, or a flat, and that's like a safe investment. But in today's world, like it's like, do you really own the house? I mean, if you look at something like what happened in Ukraine last year or this year, like it feels less and less safe than it was like 10 years ago. And then you get to the thing, all right, do you buy stocks in the stock market? And then it's like, yeah, you can buy stocks, but you don't really own the stocks. You rely on a third party provider that can essentially like cut you off any time if you do something that they don't like. Then you could think of, oh, do I buy gold? I mean, gold could be something interesting, but what if you have to, I don't know, like,
Let's fast forward and say punks is the best shit to buy,
and,
right?
and but then fast forward, you can say, all right, punks, but then that leaves you also with all the crypto stuff like Bitcoin and Ethereum is just something I am personally like very comfortable buying these days, because you essentially truly own it, and if you know how to self custody it, especially for our generation people, it's more and more something I see that speaks to us. Like for example, let me give you another example. Yesterday or 2 days ago, Elon Musk put out a poll whether he should stay as the CEO of Twitter or not. Right? You guys know this, right? And both me and my brother, we voted within that poll. And it was just so natural for us to vote. It felt instantaneous. It felt something relevant to us. And the results of the poll were instantaneous to count. Now, I know there was a lot of like botting activity and such thing, but it felt so natural for our generation to participate in this form of voting and maybe call it democracy. And I personally have never ever been voting in like the real world, the real democracy, and I don't even see myself going voting anytime soon, because it's just so like far away from, I guess, our generation. But fast forward maybe 10 years or even 5 years, I totally can see, DAOs being a thing, and all this kind of governance, this modern way of governance, all happening on chain. So yeah, I don't know, like this blockchain era that Bon Fidehan was describing yesterday really resonated to me. And yeah, that's why I'm spending every waking hour I have working in it and like thinking about it.
Yeah, 100%. Do you think that Web3 projects and crypto projects are more sticky? They're more addictive than Web2 projects? And if yes, why is that?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think what's important here is that the foundational layer is Web3. Is built on the blockchain. So from a programmer's perspective, that the backend is built on the blockchain or is built in Web3. Because that's where kind of the ownership aspect is like determined, and everything that's like built on top of it can be more flexible. Like for example, if you take Wojtek's Punks Club project, the foundational layer of that project is the blockchain and the punks contract, like the ownership of who owns which punk. But then he extends it with a platform which is it's a Web 2 platform, maybe call it Web 2.5. But I think if you have the base layer Web 3, it's definitely more sticky than if you have the base layer being Web 2. And when I say base layer being Web 2, I'm thinking of companies like Fortnite or gaming companies where you don't really own the assets within the game, or other companies like Facebook or Instagram where you don't really own your identity within the platform. For example, Valko is a punk that got logged out of his Twitter account last week, and it was a real struggle for him to get it back, because this Twitter, which is just a Web2 company, for some reason locked him out, and he's been building his profile for years now. He's been building his following for years now, and he just got basically logged out. So I really see, like, I guess in the future, the foundational layer being on Web3, being on the blockchain, and then having all these apps or dApps on top of it that is just that can use the Web2 stack. So yeah.
I love Punks Club, and I also put my punk there, but I'm a little bit lazy to use it. I don't have so much time to go there and update and put stuff, but I should kick myself in the butt to use it a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think specific to Punks Club, when Wojtek will launch the mobile app, it's going to be much easier for all of us to get direct notification and things like that. So I think the mobile app is a component that is missing, but is also going to come at some point.
Yeah, definitely. What sort of negative aspect bumps you the most about NFTs?
Yeah, good question. First thing maybe that comes to mind are, I guess, the frequency of hacks, and still kind of the amount of tech knowledge that is needed to navigate the space. So that's still a negative aspect on my end, but I think it's also going to get solved sooner or later. Like, just to give an example, we all have, like, we have this valuable punk on our wallet. We really should not be signing anything with that wallet. But the current state of the market is, whenever you need to do a mint, or whenever you have to claim an airdrop or things like that, you still have to kind of interact with it. But on the positive side, I see kind of projects that are kind of dealing with that issue, like, for example, token proof or delegate cash by Fubar, that allow you to kind of assign like a hot wallet for your cold wallet, and to kind of interact with that hot wallet with all the NFT stuff. So I'm optimistic about what's to come over there as well. Like back to Punks Club, like, to log into Punks Club, one of the main things is, like, no one wants to touch it with their main punk wallet, and that makes total sense. But now that you can log in with alternate methods, like, for example, delegate cash, that's a great step forward, I think.
Yeah, that's very interesting, and it's definitely a step towards the right direction. The hack's awful, and it's a negative advertisement for the space. But nobody's reporting on financial crime basically worldwide, and the millions of scams that are running daily everywhere. So I don't know if it is just a normal way of life, or it's just more up on blockchain that we can monitor stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
But one way or the other, blockchain and Web3 will reach a point where it's super safe, and established infrastructure will be super easy, intuitive, and super safe to use. And I really believe that. All it remains to see is um, for the time to pass, and all of these wonderful projects to launch or update their developments, right?
Yeah, definitely, and we're for sure not there yet. And one point you just raised here are, for example, the stolen items, which is, for me, one very negative thing about NFTs. But if you go down to the blockchain layer, there's no such thing as a stolen item. Whereas an app like OpenSea, that is on top of the blockchain, that is regulated within the real world, they create this, for example, the stolen item or the stolen apes, and it creates some sort of completely non kind of Web3 native like behavior, that they freeze your ape or something, and that's something that also is like makes me really sad.
Yeah, I'm also I bought an NFT from OpenSea, and then that it was stolen, and I bought it legally, and then they blocked it. And so what happened was the thief got paid, yeah. The
Yeah,
owner still lost his NFT, so nothing changed for him, and the person who bought an NFT legally, me, gets
yeah,
fucked in the ass, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And then I contacted OpenSea and I say, hey, unblock it, you fuckers. I bought this legally on your platform. And they're like, yeah, sorry. We will just send you back your commission that you pay to OpenSea, and it will take 2 weeks.
Oh my god,
And
yeah.
that was on the second communication. On the first communication, they didn't even offer that. So I'm really pissed at that. I don't see any reason why I have so many blocked NFTs, especially since they have changed addresses so many times since then. And I don't see who is the benefactor out of all of that.
Well, so
Um,
my take on that would be that OpenSea is a company regulated in the US, and they have to do it for regulation reasons. That's the only reason that I see. Whether it makes sense or not, because I understand what you
no,
just
yeah,
said, that
no, yeah, I understand that, but there should be a period of time or something. Okay, we blocked it, cannot stay blocked forever. Bye bye, you know.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. There should be some ways you can appeal that, or because right now there's nothing you can do. You own this, okay, and I paid 3 ETH for it, and now it's gone. Like it's marked on every marketplace, and I didn't want to sell it, and just because of that, now I really do want to get rid of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And anyway,
And that's why I'm
that is
happy.
that
That's
is
why
a
I'm
big
happy
problem.
that there's new marketplaces launching now these days, and that you have more optionality other than OpenSea, because like I really hope that OpenSea doesn't end up as like a monopoly. But now that we have, Blur, and it's also an anonymous team at Blur, like there's some interesting things that I think that can happen with that. So
Yeah, Blair seems to be doing the right steps. The anonymous team aspect is not something that I personally fancy when you're trying to do such a big project, but
yeah,
everything they did so far seems to be well thought and very well delivered. So yeah, we will see from what they actually bring, and so far it looks all right. I think it's good. But coming back to your project, how many people do you have working for ForeverPunks?
well, so I started out just by myself. Then I have the design and the art is done by an artist. She's not full time, but with the new announcements that we'll be doing early next year, I needed someone that was like very, very good with Solidity and blockchain development. So I got another guy on board with that. So it's for now it's just the two of us. But yeah, it's small but nimble, and we're cranking out features quickly, and yeah, let's see how it's gonna be in the new year, but very excited about what's to come in January.
All right, that sounds really good, and I will also invite you again in January or February, depending on your schedule, to present to us all
Yeah,
the
I mean,
stuff that you're
that would be
releasing.
really amazing, but just a little hint here. If it works as expected, it could be a real game changer for punks, and completely you know improve the punks market by, I don't know, a big factor. And we're speaking to some VCs already, yeah, and if it works as expected, it's going to be some really beneficial. So yeah, buy a punk now before it's too late, guys.
Do you think that punks will have another run up?
Oh, for sure. Whether it's because of us or at some point in the future, I think yeah. I mean, we'll be back to 100 ETH floor before we know it. But yeah, I mean, the punks are just very nice and very different because there's no expectation from the team to deliver something. Like now currently the IP is owned by Yuga, but no one holds a punk because they expect an airdrop or because they expect a virtual world or because they expect anything.
What
Most
do you
people.
think about that Yuga owns the IP?
Uh, I think it's good. Like I'm fairly close to Noah. I like the guy, and he understands punks very well. I think. I think it's very good that he's going very slowly and that he's treating punks as a dead artist's estate. And he comes from from Christie's, from like an art kind of background, and that's very good, I think. And when they announce that the IP goes to the holder of the punk, I think it was a great thing for punks, because I knew many people that didn't buy punk just because of the IP. So I think it's a good thing.
Okay, yeah. Um, we will see what they will do. I'm a little bit skeptical myself of Yuga, so I don't know. We will see.
I mean, personally, I think the best thing is that they don't do anything, right? They just keep it as it is, and let punks build upon it. Let people like you, let people like me, build their project, and that will increase the value of punks. That's what I think. And I think punks are one of the only collections, maybe with Bored Apes included, where owners of the NFT will just say, "Fuck it, I'm making it my full-time job." And there's this really cool saying that you work for your biggest bags. Have you heard this quote yet? And it's
Yeah, yeah, for
and
sure.
and it's a really funny quote, because if you own a lot of punks, then you're incentivized to build and add value to that punk. If you own a lot of, I don't know, Bitcoin, then you're somehow incentivized to add value to Bitcoin. And very rarely we see people who, I don't know, like, let me just come up with a project like the M-First, for example. No one really has the M-First as their biggest bag. So and that's why kind of maybe there's less building on that front. So uh, punks is in a really nice spot when it
Yeah,
comes
but
to that,
it's a
I think.
chicken and the egg problem, How do you get something valuable and people to hold it and build on it? Punks is a movement more than just a project,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
that's why it keeps it alive um, and it withstands the test of time.
Yeah.
Will
Yeah, and
probably
it
outlive everybody.
yeah, and it already went through many bear markets, right?
Mm.
Like, if you look at now this Trump NFT, it had one pump last week, but will it have another pump? I don't know. Most NFT most NFTs, they have one pump and that's it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it is what it is. It is a Trump NFT. By Sylvester Stallone. I don't know. Did you see that? I was reading a thread.
No, when was that?
I will share it later. It was Sylvester Stallone was supposed to drop an NFT, and then they didn't drop it, and the same team dropped with Trump, but Stallone bought the studio. I don't know, something like
Really?
that.
Ah, okay.
I don't want
Yeah.
to say something that is not true, but from what I recall, the story went something like that.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah, yeah.
weird, but yeah. Uh, we are living in the times of the Trump NFT. When people are listening this in the future, they will be cringing and laughing that we were talking about this right now. But yeah, it is what it is. As I said, I will invite you again on January or February, and you show us what you have been working on. I love the confidence there that you truly believe that is going to change punks and even add a lot of value to the floor, and people will want them even more. So I'm really curious and excited to see what you have
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I mean, I'm setting the expectations high, I know, but hoping to deliver there. And yeah, have you guys been to any like real life events
No,
or conferences?
we have been building really, really hard every day here for the past 2 years. We built infrastructure with a team of 10 that 100 people would build.
Uh-huh,
And
okay.
for 2023, if everything goes according to plan, we intend to have physical presence in Europe and US and meet more wonderful people and connect with punks and everybody. But it is a little hard for us, being from Europe. It's
Hmm, hmm.
not an easy thing to arrange having presence in conference in the West Coast or even
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Miami. It is.
Where are you guys based?
Myself, I live in Greece, that is from Czech Republic.
Hmm.
But we have team members from around the world, but uh, mainly Europe, I would say, and we also have people in Asia and America. So we cover the whole spectrum, but
Yeah,
our core is in Europe for now.
yeah. No, very cool. No, I am mostly Europe based as well, and yeah,
Oh,
I
where
found
are you?
I'm mostly in Spain.
Oh,
Uh,
that's really nice.
but I mean, currently I am in the Canary Islands, but I
Mm.
travel to Asia, during the winter. I kind of do this digital nomading thing. But I found a lot of value in going to conferences. Like I went to NFT London, and just the fact of meeting the person, in person and having like a chat is I think super valuable. So I guess I can encourage you guys to do that a lot. I'm thinking of NFT Paris end of February,
I
and
received a weird email from them. It's
yeah, I received that as well.
it was like, yeah, I can't remember. It was something like, come, you will have a free hotel, free this, free that, free cocktails. I was like, what?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
But then I checked the speakers. They have snow throw.
yeah. They have
I
amazing
don't know.
speakers. Yeah,
Yeah, and they market it like a scam or something. I don't get it. So
yeah.
I was very skeptical. I was very interested to go there. I don't know.
Well, so for example, in London, I met some French punks. Like I met Gwendal, and he told me that I should come. And then I also met guys from NFT France. A fund, and it's just you meet people, then you go to the next place, and then it's yeah, I think it's a really cool thing. And that's one of the reasons why it's nice to be doxed. That you can just like go to these in real life events and
Oh
do
yeah,
kind of
I don't give a fuck anymore, you know.
yeah.
I mean, it's why not? It reminds me the early days of the internet. People were like, no, 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 don't put your real name on your email address.
Yeah, yeah,
And now everybody is putting their real name because it actually works and it solves the problem. Um, but of course, there is danger whenever you share personal data. And I think these problems will be solved within the next 20, 30 years for sure. Uh, Internet technology is like very, very young, right?
yeah, yeah.
So for sure. But yeah, man, thank you so much for joining us today. And chatting. As I said, I'm super excited for what you are building. We will invite you back again, and we will have you show us all the wonderful stuff. So thank you so much for coming in and for your time today.
No, thank you guys for having me. I mean, I love what you guys are doing, love what you're building. And yeah, definitely let's connect offline about how we could integrate maybe our two projects with this backstory, punk origin story thing. I think that could be a cool little thing.
100%, man. I would definitely love that. I will DM you about it later on. Thanks everyone for joining and listening here today, live with us, and to those who are listening at home. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day wherever you are. Bye bye.
Thanks, guys, for listening. Bye bye.
Bye bye.